This is Israel Anderson. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm going to continue with some of these micro podcasts. Let's talk about Julian Assange, arrested this morning, as I was and many others were expecting. What I wasn't expecting was the complete irrational, emotional meltdown of almost everybody on both sides of this issue. The left, the right, and everybody in between, watching people that are famous for being friends with Julian Assange, like Cassandra Fairbanks, completely losing it on Twitter. This kind of emotionalism doesn't help us to understand our world. We need to be able to pull back from our thoughts, from our feelings and our emotions, and to just be still and observe what is going on. This has been a long time in the making. I said in the previous podcast I did, and in multiple other sources on social media, that the very best thing for Julian Assange is to step outside of the embassy. I have already made some statements about what will happen, what I think will happen anyway, about Julian Assange. And I'm not making predictions here. I do make predictions. I've been flawless in those, but usually I just want to share what I think, and usually that happens too. So what I think is going to happen here, well, part of it's already happened. He stepped outside. He was arrested inside and dragged outside into British custody. He will be handed over to the United States. He will be flown to Virginia, to the holding cells in Virginia. They have multiple safe houses and prison-like facilities in Virginia where they keep prisoners like this. He will then be asked to voluntarily testify before a grand jury, and most likely also likewise asked to testify before a congressional hearing, hopefully public, although that is risky because he knows a lot. He has been indicted on conspiring with Chelsea Manning to hack a computer. They conspired to try to get a password to get more information from a computer. This is a very basic charge. To extradite someone on this is pretty silly. But that's obviously part of the agenda here, I would guess, is and just goes with what I've already been saying for many years about Assange and Trump. This charge is so weak that any competent lawyer will be able to get him off scot-free. Some are suggesting that, well, when he lands here in the United States, there will be lots more charges brought against him. Well, we'll see. So far there isn't. But what we do know is that the charges against him so far are absolutely easily beatable in court, particularly when the co-conspirator, Chelsea Manning, was given a presidential pardon for her role in that, right? So why then would you extradite a man on such a weak charge that you know he's easily going to beat? Well, it's pretty frickin' obvious, to me anyway. So what we'll see play out here is the few weeks of drama, maybe a few months, but I doubt it. Probably just 3 or 4 weeks of intense drama around Julian Assange, lots of media, public appearances, those kinds of things. And then, I just got a tweet here that Devin Nunes has just sent off his criminal referrals to the Department of Justice, to William Barr. That's going to be interesting to look at once I finish recording here. But I think after 3 or 4 weeks of intense drama, he's going to be on a plane back to Australia, a free man. That is my expectation. Let's see how this plays out. All different kinds of things can happen. He absolutely is an assassination target. There are multiple people that want him to be removed from the picture. None more so than the Podestas and the Clintons. And they're very well-connected people. They have a lot of people on the inside still working for the government. And I think that is probably Assange's greatest fear is being around those people that can take him out. There's a very realistic possibility that there will be an assassination attempt on Julian Assange. Um, Now, if you're wondering, well, whereas my intent in all of this, I love Julian Assange very much, have a serious bromance with the guy. I grew up half in Australia, half in New Zealand. I'm a Kiwi, but I grew up mostly, just slightly mostly in Australia. Um, I've been a journalist, and so I feel a real affinity with Julian Assange. And my hope is that I am correct, in that within a few months at least, hopefully within just a few weeks, he will be back home with his family in Australia. And yeah, my voice starts to crack even saying that, because, yeah, it's emotional for me. I really am very much. We've never met. I've never talked to Julian, but I really feel for the guy deeply, and I hope that everything works out just fine. And I think it will, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, I'm going to continue doing more of these short podcasts. Wherever you're watching them, if you wouldn't mind just giving me a thumbs up, share it, or tag somebody you think might be interested in listening to this. And hopefully, I'm going to be doing another podcast in a few weeks celebrating the release of Julian Assange. I fully expect that. I don't expect that he's going to be convicted of anything here in the United States. And one day, hopefully, I get to sit down with him and chat. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate you. And since you are listening, just like I said before, if you can just click the thumbs up and maybe give this a share. And hopefully I'll hear you on the next one. If you think that I should do more of these, then please let me know, and I'll do more.